All right, so today was my first day with my new account here, my new challenge account, and went with Top Step this time. So with this one, it's kind of an interesting day, and it was a nice one to kind of get a feel for for the changes I made. So I only got 5 trades in today, which is I think it's better. There's less trading today, so I found some different ways to kind of keep myself occupied. But uh, but yeah, so it started out with this one. We had a clear ABC, got in there. I was able to catch the open. I had to remove some contracts, so I had a nice ratio there. Um, but as soon as I removed them, then the 925 opened and it shot up. So it's kind of like, oh man, you know, so I would have had 5 contracts on from here, and you can see that initial surge would have been $10 a point all the way up there. So would have got up to about $1,200 on that trade. Still, I got up pretty good on it. And then when it started, and then once the 930 candle closed and started pulling back, I started adding. So I kind of put myself off balance a little bit, and ended up taking a $400 loss in that first one, which was a little disappointing there. And I probably added a little too quickly, and I was so far away from my original entry that it pulled up my baseline a lot. But then the market rolled and took me out. Once it dropped down here, normally I would have been trying to enter here, but I was patient and waited for my proper setup, and I got an ABC with volume. Waited for the pullback. I got in. You can see it went against me, but never took me out. And then I was able to start adding. And then today I also decided to go ahead and switch to the 15 second and add in that direction. Once I got moving, and I started to get a little bit nervous about everything, about the way that it was going, I went ahead and jumped down to the 15 second, started adding based on that instead of my normal pattern. So you can see I was able to get a pretty good trade out of this one. Added several times, ended up about 18 contracts, and then right here it got me off my 15-second stop. And so with that one, I did kind of reduce my stop anyways. So when I went down here and it broke down here, I added here and I had my stop loss up here. I barely survived. It was like right there where my stop loss was. Like it was very, very close. I got lucky. It came back down, and then once it pushed up from here, once it went down here and hit like that, I decided I was going to go and put my stop loss 5 points above here, and just said, if it gets me, it gets me. I'm not going to give all that money back. I got up to about 2,300 on it. So when it did hit me, I walked away with about 1,600 on it. So it's a pretty good trade. You can see it reversed and would have hit my stop loss, and I would have ended up about $100 to $200 profit if I would have done it the same way that I was doing it. So the good part about that is that it had me walk away with $1,600. So I only gave back about 600. The other way I would have given back about $2,100, I believe. Also, though the problem with this is that if this just pulled back and went, I could have missed a very, very big leg. Because when you look at how big this guy was, if he had another leg in him that size, and I was up to 18 contracts, and then I was still adding it. That's one of those account doublers if it keeps going. But this time it did not keep going. One rule I did go ahead and put in there for myself was that if I do get taken out because I jumped down to the 15 second, I'm allowed to then try to buy the next leg, or sell the next leg in this case. So basically, I made 1,600 on the trade. That put me up 1,200. And then when I got in here, I risked $600. And then I was able to reduce the trade. So I ended up, let me see here. So you can see on this one I made 1659, and then the next one I ended up only making 400 on it, but I started with a $600 stop loss, so I was able to reduce it. And then the next one, same kind of situation with $600, I reduced it and only lost 185 on that one. And then this last one here, I made a mistake on this one, so I went ahead and exited the trade at about break even. Now it turned out that it shot up and did really well, but right here when it blasted up here, it took out this trade right there. And then I looked at that and I'm like, okay, so what we had here was an A with volume right here. It messed around. It did poke lower, but then it came back up strong and broke right here with volume. So I was okay to go ahead and take the buy on it. So I ended up getting in right here. Problem was I got in after 3:30. So I got in here. I accidentally added one contract. I was trying to do something else and just accidentally hit the add button. So I added one contract right here on accident. And then after it goes up here and then started to come back, I went ahead and exited the trade. I don't want to be trading that way because I have to walk away from my computer at 2:30. So getting into a trade at 2:30 my time, which is 4:30 New York time. So getting into a trade 45 minutes before I need to leave is just not a good idea. So I realized that around this point that I was like, oh my gosh, it's too late for me to be getting into trades. So I was like, okay, if it wants to go, I'll kind of close it and kind of snag something out. It didn't know it started to come back, so I just went ahead and closed it at about break even. I'm like, if I don't have time to manage the trade properly, then I don't want to risk anything on it, if that makes sense. So even though I was up a few $100s right here, and I could have walked away and ended my day with over 2,000, not over 2,000, but I would have ended around 1,500. Instead, I turned around and just said, yeah, I'll just walk away and just closed it and walked away. So I closed the day at about $685. I did kind of track what it would have looked like if I would have stayed in it and managed it. So you can see I never finished the result here, but it did break up higher here, so I would have added again right there, and then this guy would have gotten me right there. So it would have been a decent trade, honestly, if I had time to manage it. But again, I wouldn't have had time, but that would have been around 50 points, and I started out down here with 5, so I was at 6 points or 6 contracts there. So yeah, I probably would have. I'm guessing I probably would have made around anywhere from 500 to 1,000 on that, depending on how my adding went and everything. Um, but yeah, it was a good little trade. I think it was just too late in the market, and like I said, if I can't stay to manage it properly, then I don't want to leave risk on the table for it. So yeah, I closed and walked away. But all in all, I feel like the tweaks that I made have some real potential. Um, I still have the chance of catching a big leg, and adding that quickly on the 15 second and locking in profits right away can really make a difference. On that one right here, like I said, it took me from what would have been a $200 win to a 1659 win. That's a very big difference. Very big. So so yeah, it might just turn out okay trying to do it that way. I still think the way I was doing it is the right way if you have the capital to trade that way. I do not, so I gotta find a way to trade without that. So I really like that. One other thing that I did that I think was a mistake. Let me see if I can find where it was. This one right here. So on this one right here, I decided I think it's going to go lower than the overall low. So instead of jumping down to the 15 second and following my new idea of getting in on the 5 minute and all that stuff and then exiting, basically my thought is when it breaks down into a lower low, so like right here, I would jump down to the 15 second. As soon as I see an ABC down here, I would move my stop loss here and then I would add right here and then kind of just keep that pattern where I'm adding and then moving in my stop loss. So I'm adding and moving, adding and moving. So that was my thought, but then on that one, for whatever reason, I was like, you know what, I think it's going to get down here, so I'm going to wait to do that until I get down there. And you can see I got up to about, I think I was around $700 on this trade before it came back up and got me, and I ended up losing like 185. So I didn't lose a whole lot on it, but I could have walked away with money on that one, and I'm a little disappointed that I looked at it that way. That it was like, no, instead of doing the actual lower low, I decided, oh no, it's going to get way lower, so I'll just hold off on doing that. And looking back on it now, it didn't make sense. At the time, it made sense to me, but hindsight lets us know how stupid we really are. So it did let me know. Now, actually, though, when I look at that, would that guy have gotten me right in the start? No, it doesn't look like it would have. Because my stop loss would have been about 5 points above that guy. Well, no, I wouldn't have even done it yet. It would have happened somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, this is when I would have started looking at it as an ABC down. And then, yeah, so writing that guy down. So this would have had me exit. This right here, I maybe wouldn't have because it was such a small break. A lot of times I don't trust it, so I would have kept it up here. But either way, I would have walked away with several hundred more dollars on that trade. Um, so all in all, I think it was a good day. I learned a lesson on this part of it that I need to just go with if I'm breaking down, I'm breaking down. I'm not looking at the previous low and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, I think it went pretty well. And I'm making these videos on my updates on my daily and stuff like that. Part of this is to hold myself accountable, explain the things that I did wrong, explain the things that I did right, so that I can kind of show how someone who's been trading a long time is trying to improve and not just follow my plan and then just close my eyes and hope it works and you know take my trade and just walk away and just hope it hits its target. Like I want you to see what it's like and the dedication that you have to have as far as like reviewing your day and going over it. And kind of trying to make sure that you're learning every day and doing and just checking to see if what you're doing is actually working. And then if you made any mistakes, if you made a mistake, you got to learn from it, And mistakes are wonderful because they teach us so much. And as long as you can handle making those mistakes, you can get better at anything. It doesn't matter what it is. So that's number one why I want to make these update videos constantly. It's probably boring content, and most people probably won't have any interest in watching this. But if you're trying to get better, this is how you do it, right? You spend your whole day trading, and then you go back and you look at it and say, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And I want to post it for one to show you guys, but for two to hold myself accountable. Because I know if I'm posting this video every day, I've got to look at it. I've got to show you where I'm embarrassed and all that kind of stuff, where I got stupid and went outside my plan, and all those things. So there's that, and then the other part too is that if there is anything that you see on one of these videos that you want me to elaborate on, or you want me to explain in detail, or want to give me some advice, I would love some advice. So I'm not here trying to say like I'm the greatest trader in the world. You guys should all learn from me. I'm here saying like this is my process of trying to get better. If you have any suggestions for me, I would love to hear them. I'd love to get better. So there's a lot of times where I'm staring at the market all day and I don't see the same things that you're seeing. So, if you got any suggestions, don't be shy. Please let me know. But yeah, let's just keep getting better together, guys. Tomorrow's gonna be another great day. Let's go.